Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Prerna and welcome to the Crafty Street. I want to show you today how I made this ring album. So this is a pretty chunky album, and as you can see, this has a shaker at the top, and I really love how it finally turned out, the cover mostly. This measures 10 inches by 8 inches, so this is definitely quite big and chunky. This has a ring, three rings on the side, so it kind of opens up like this. And let me just open it for you. So in the front we have a pocket here, okay, and we'll see how to make this pocket together. We'll do it on camera. And then it has 20 pages, so like this. So I have rounded the corners, as you can see. And then there is a back. So on the back also we have a pocket where you can store lots of journaling cards or photos as you might like. And this is the back. So together today we'll make this album. Okay, now for this, what all do we need? So first of all, let me just keep this aside and show you. So first of all, we need the chipboards. So this is a 950 GSM chipboard, really thick and sturdy, and we'll be needing this. Then I have two A3 sized white paper. So this is around 200 GSM, and we will be using this to cover our front and back. So this is a really thick one, and this is the chipboard which is covered by this, and finally the beautiful pattern paper goes on top of it. And this is the these are the papers that we will be using for our album. So I have as you would have seen in my previous videos, so I am using kind of a collection of 3-4 paper packs, and I'm mixing all these papers. So of course it is not just one paper pack, but it's a mix of all the 3 paper packs. I'll show you just in a while. Then we will need the rings, and of course a bone folder. You could use your ruler for that. And this I really like because it kind of makes 4 holes at the same time. So as you can see, right, that is very helpful for me. So let me just keep this aside and show you the papers that I'll be using. Maybe just a quick flip through of that. Let me just keep all of this aside. So in all we need 24 papers. So these are all 12 by 12 papers, and I will be cutting it out together on camera. So we have 20 papers on the inside, right? So we have 20 pages on the inside. These are the 20 pages that will go. And then we will need 4 more sheets. So basically one for here, one for the back, again one for here, and one for the front. Okay, so all in all I have 24 sheets here. So let's just have a look. I have put them according to the way I wanted them to be on my album. So these 4 sheets will be used on the front and the back covers. I think I want to use this as the front, on my front actually, and this one on the back, and of course these will be on the inside. Let's quickly look at the papers that I'll be using on my album. So really beautiful paper. I love how all these 3 paper packs together come out as a collection. And definitely I will be later on, once the album is ready, I'll be using coordinating embellishments, right? So definitely I'll be looking into all my boxes and find out what looks best on my album. So of course that we might want to do it a lot, some of it off camera, because of course I'll be searching around looking for my embellishments, what all I want to use, but definitely I'll be arranging and decorating it on camera. So these are the beautiful papers that I'll be using in this album. So here we are. I think this is the last one. So together we have 24 pages here. Next we will start by cutting our chipboard and our cover paper. So this is the white one, right? And then we will also move on next to cutting these into 8 by 10, right? So that's the size of our album. We will also use the corner rounder to round our corners in this album like I did here, right? I showed you. So these are all rounded corners, so that's what I'll be doing. Okay, so let's move on to the cutting part. So this is my paper trimmer by Tonic Studio. It is a gelatinine paper trimmer and I really like it because it makes my work a lot easier. So this I'll be using to cut all my pattern papers and the base paper that I'll be using to cover the chipboard. So here I have started cutting all my designer paper. So these are 24 sheets, so 20 sheets for the inside of the album and 4 sheets for the cover. So I'm cutting them 8 by 10, and later on I'll be rounding off the corners. As you can see, these papers are so beautiful, and as I said earlier, this paper pack is, I mean, I've mixed up 3 paper packs to come up with this combination, and the colors so go well with each other, and I really like this thing about having a combinations of paper packs to use in my project. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm really enjoying it. So, and later on I'll come up with more videos where I'll be using combination of paper packs, which will help me make more use of my papers. So yeah, as you can see, these are really pretty paper, and I'm almost done with them. I think there are 4 or 5 more remaining. So in total it took me about 15 minutes to get through all my pattern papers, my cover papers, and my chipboard. So chipboard, I do not use my paper trimmer for chipboard, so I use the paper cutting tool, which is like a blade, to cut my chipboard, as you will see next. So I think this is all the pattern papers that I have to cut. So this is done. Now I'll be moving on to my cover. So this measures 12 inches by 10 inches. So basically it is 1 inch around my, it will be 1 inch around my chipboard, and this is going to be my pocket in the album. So this measures, both the pieces measure 3.5 by 11. So I'll be definitely scoring them, and you'll see how I do it. Now, as I said, I do not use my paper trimmer for the chipboard because it kind of deteriorates the blade of it. So I use my ruler and pencil to kind of make the markings using the using this board, and then I will be cutting this with the help of my paper trimmer. Paper, I don't know what you call it. So as you will see me now using it. So this is the chipboard. Now I'll be cutting this off. So let me take out my blade. So this is what it looks like. So you normally find it in a stationery store, right? So a paper cutter kind of, but it's a heavy duty because this chipboard is really sturdy. It is 950 GSM, so you see I have to cut multiple times to kind of get through this, and then I'm moving on to the second one. So once I'm done with all my papers and chipboard, then I'll move on to scoring and rounding the corners and punching holes in my papers. So here I am. I have cut both the chipboards. I have my cover papers and my pattern papers. So now I'll move on to the rounding of the corners and covering the chipboard. So basically I'm prepping up my album now. So here you see I'm just rounding off the outer side of my papers. So basically on the where the holes will be punched, I'm not rounding on those corners, which actually look beautiful when you would have seen the album, right, the ready album. So this is almost done, and these are the front and the back, so I just leave them, I don't punch them. Next I am going to cover my chipboard. So I use the liquid adhesive for this because it gives me enough space, time to kind of place my paper there and stick it really well. So I really put it very generously, and I, using my bone folder, I level it out. Then I more refurbishing, of course, and then I'll go around and cut the corners, and this is to now cover the edges actually. So I'll use my bone folder to score the edges so that when I'm actually the paper, when I'm actually covering it, so it nicely folds out. So again, some liquid glue on the side, and I am going to cover it up. So I make sure that this is stuck really nice, because as you can see, this is the base of the album, right? So um, we cannot leave it hanging. And yes, so all the four sides are done. More refurbishing with the help of the bone folder, and we are good to go for this one. I do the same exercise with the second chipboard also. I have shown this step in some of my previous videos where I make scrapbook albums, and where I see how I cover the chipboard. So this is kind of a step that is very important, as I said earlier. This holds your album together, right? So I'm almost done with this second chipboard also. um, i I just make sure that it is stuck properly. So we have these two ready, and we have rounded the corners. Now we will also punch holes in the papers, right? So this is the first paper that I punch in, and then I will start aligning. So basically I pick a paper which has already been punched, and I choose some of the subsequent papers and then punch them. So alignment definitely is very much needed here. As you can see, I do it, kind of, I try to align it multiple times, making sure that these pages papers are definitely aligned in a way that I want them to be, otherwise it will look very crooked. So I spend a lot of time there, and definitely a lot of effort goes in this alignment part, because it's not it because there are so many papers, and you kind of tend to make it, faster. You want this to get over fast. So yes, it kind of takes time also, and it takes effort also. So you see, I make it stand, then I kind of put it on my table again, and here we have all the holes punched in my pattern paper. Next, there is this chipboard, and these also need to be covered by pattern paper. So I'm just tracing the holes here, and I'll punch the holes in the chipboard. Now this again needs a lot of aligning, making sure that everything is proper and fine. So this step, right, the rounding the corner and punching the holes, this almost took half an hour. Next one, I'll move on to um, scoring my scoring my pockets. I'll show you how I make the pockets and so on. So I'm almost done here. So this is the front, I think. Yeah, this is the front going on right now, tracing the holes, punching it out. That's what I'm doing here. See how I make sure that I'm aligning it properly. I'm just trying to hold it as near as possible, and we are done on this side. And then we will move on to the back side. So again, the same steps. So basically you trace the holes using the last page in your album, and then kind of start punching. So the alignments, the markings are done. Now aligning it, and here you go, punch. So yeah, this is it. And next I'll move on to scoring, making journal cards, making pockets. So now you'll see me painting my um, cover for the album. So I don't know, I really am a pathetic when it comes to painting. You can see how am I doing it. So it's actually chalk paint that I'm using. It's so the idea is to cover all the edges, and this looks very beautiful when, finally the album is ready. So on the edges this green color will show up, and the pattern paper will go on top of the cover. So it'll just be a slight border of green showing up. So I choose the color based on the paper, the the most prominent color on the pattern paper on the top. So that's how I chose green for this. In my previous album that I just made, so in that I used turquoise actually, so it was going with the pattern paper on the top. So I am done with the first one, and as you can see, I'm just going around the edges, and I do a little bit on the inside. And definitely it's just that's the part that's actually going to show up beneath the pattern paper. So just roughly doing it. There is really not much talent needed here, right? So anybody can do it. And yeah, I do have a lots of chalk paint shades, which I mostly use this I mostly use it for this purpose, for coloring my MDFs, word sentiments, and also maybe for coloring my bottles. So maybe I can do a video sometime for that. And so this is done. I leave it for drying. Now I will move on to make pockets. So these two pieces of paper measure 3.5 by 11. I am scoring half inch on all on three sides, and I'll just cut corners and then I will crease the folds. So just using my bone folder to do that. So our pocket is almost ready, and then I'll pull in the pattern paper. So these measure 3 by 10. So I just cut this out with the help of my paper trimmer, and I'll just take it out. And this will go one of it will go on the back side of the front cover, and the other will go on the back side of the back cover. So you will see it in a while what I'm trying to say here. And meanwhile the chalk paint will take some time to dry, and I think by the time we'll need it, it will be ready. Then I'll put some tacky tape at the back. You can use the liquid glue as well, but I kind of prefer having tacky glue here, and red tacky tape. Actually, that's what it is called. It's very strong, right? So I like to have it in my pocket because the pocket holds a lot of stuff. So yeah, I want it to be strong. Now I'll pull in my papers. So uh, this is the uh, back of the back cover, if that makes sense. And I'm also piercing the holes, so I hope that makes sense. And this one will go at the back of the front cover. So you will see it in a while what I'm trying to say here. And next I'll punch it again. So this is ready, our pockets are ready. And then let me check if the chipboard is ready. So yes, it is. It has dried out. So this I'm gonna stick now, and I'll put some liquid glue here. So here it goes. Our one cover is almost ready, and I'll just put the back piece also there, and here our back cover is complete. So let me just even it out, and we are ready to go. These are some of the journal cards that I'll be putting in my pockets. Next I'll do it for the front cover also, getting on with my back cover which has the pocket. So here it is, and I'm just trying to kind of level it out, and then the front. So you can see the thin green line that is surrounding your pattern paper, and that I really find that very beautiful. It kind of is better than the white paper showing up, right? So just trim off the extra. This is almost done. Next I'll put the rings. So I have the rings handy. So there goes the first ring, and the second and the third ring. So we have all the rings in place now. Next I'll put the journal card. So this is, I am now picking up which journal cards where I want to, and now moving on to the back part. Now we just need to embellish our album. So now I have pulled out all my embellishment pieces. So I did go and do this behind the camera because you would go crazy if you see me going around checking all my boxes, what I want to do with the embellishments. So I took out some frames, some prima flowers, and things like that. And earlier I wanted to do a shaker for this one also, but then I thought I'll go the other way, and you will see what my kind of plan looks like. So I'm just putting the frame here. I put a border, corner border kind of on the right. I've also pulled a piece of a small burlap, and I'll be sticking it there with the red tape. So this red tacky tape is really good. It holds the things really together, so it's very sticky, and once you put it, there is no going back. So it will definitely, if you try to pull out your pieces, it will pull out your paper as well. So yeah, so this is the red tape I put, and my finally my this roll of tacky tape got over. I just threw it in the dustbin, and now I'm putting this burlap here. So just checked for what is the front and the back, and then I put it, and this piece will go at the center. So it says all you need is love. I really love this quote. I did paint it red, and I'm using it I'm using the tacky glue to stick it there. So this glue actually dries clear, so that's why I use it for such activities, such elements where I need to put them. and I'm really trying to place it there. In fact, I brought my head in the frame. So our centerpiece is almost ready. Now I want to arrange all my flowers. So I pulled my all my yellow brown kind of flowers, and I'll be using some liquid glue to put them in place. So I do have Prima flowers of in many colors, and I have been them holding them for a very long time, and I recently started using them. They are so beautiful. I never gave myself a chance to use them, but now I have started using them. And for these three, I use the liquid glue, as you can see, and for the center one, and before that I'm arranging, I just want everything to be perfect here. And for this small one, I'll be using some double sided foam tape, so it will actually raise it and it will bring it to the level of the other bigger flowers around it. So now I am kind of liking my placement. I'll just move it around a bit. I just want that it kind of looks good. Now I think we are done, and in a while I'll just flip through the whole album. Okay, so now our album is ready. So this is the first album that I showed you, and this has a shaker window. I wanted to do something similar for this one also, but then I kind of changed my plan. So I started with a frame, and I wanted to do a shaker, and then yeah, you can see this is more like a shabby album than a shaker one. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and on the top we have some Prima flowers, and this is a burlap, and then this is again a MDF piece, and this says all you need is love. These are chipboards which I actually colored out, and I also did color this one. And let me now open this. So you know this, right? We have made this together. So these are the journal card. This is the pocket that we created together. These are the 20 papers on the inside. Definitely very beautiful papers. And then we have again another pocket at the back. So yes, I hope you were able to figure out how to make such an album. You need some basic supplies for this. For these rings, you could even use ribbons to tie these. So you could just put the ribbon through these holes and just make a bow around here, and you can do the same for all the rings. So even you could do it with minimum supplies. And definitely the cover part, right, decorating the cover is completely your choice. You can do it with all that you have available. For this I used sequins, some stickers. In this I used flowers, some burlap. So it completely depends on you. If you would have seen my previous videos also, I use different kind of elements on all my albums. I hope this was helpful to you, and just let me know in the comments if you would like to see some more videos like this wherein I show you how to make projects. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.